Claire didn't sleep. Not really. The house's hum had settled into her bones. Even the trees outside seemed to vibrate in sympathy. She spent the next day trying to distract herself, unpacking, cleaning, pretending the basement didn't exist. But everything she touched seemed to whisper. By evening, the hum returned, soft at first, then growing. It wasn't just sound anymore. It was tactile, a tremor under her feet, a pull at her chest, a pulse in her temples. The house was alive, and it wanted her attention. She drove into Pine Hollow again, desperate for guidance. She found Mr. Talloway, an elderly neighbor who had known her grandmother well. "The house," he said immediately, voice trembling. "It's old, older than the town, older than the woods. It feeds." Claire blinked. Feeds? On what? Calloway shook his head. On fear. On guilt. On life. You can't resist it forever. I barely escaped. Your grandmother knew this. That's why she left you a warning." "Escaped?" Claire asked, her hands trembling. Calloway leaned close. "If it gets inside your head, you'll never leave." She thanked him and drove home faster than she ever had. The sun had already begun to set, but she felt as though the shadows were reaching for her before the night even began. By midnight, the hum was unbearable. She could no longer pretend. The basement door now creaked ominously, slightly ajar, as if inviting her in. Trembling, Claire took the stairs slowly, flashlight in hand. Every step groaned under her weight. The basement smelled of wet earth, old wood, and something metallic. The hum became louder, louder, until it transformed into voices. Whispered, urgent, overlapping voices. Her grandmother's? Jonas? Unknown entities? She couldn't tell. On the far wall, a trapdoor she hadn't noticed before lay slightly open. The hum emanated from below. Compelled by terror and fascination, Claire lifted the door. Cold air rushed up like the house exhaling. Stairs descended into blackness deeper than the basement itself. Something old and malevolent waited. At the bottom, she found a chamber dug beneath the house. It was lined with dark oiled wood, walls scratched with words, symbols, and dates. In the center sat a shallow pit filled with bones, small bones, human teeth, and unidentifiable fragments. Candles burned along the edges, though no one had been here in decades. The hum originated from this pit. A shadow moved, not cast by candlelight, not by her flashlight. Something in the darkness observed her. The hum shifted into an almost coherent voice. "You are ours, like the others." Claire stumbled backward. The floorboards seemed to breathe. Something cold brushed her ankle. Her flashlight flickered. She screamed and scrambled up the stairs, slamming the trap door. The basement shook as if the house were enraged. She ran to her car and drove aimlessly through the woods, gasping. When she returned, the house stood silently in the moonlight, deceptively still. The hum was gone, for now. Claire pieced together what Mr. Calloway had warned. The house was a living predator. It consumed the life force of anyone too curious, too stubborn, too alone. Her grandmother had survived by leaving a warning and perhaps sacrificing something of herself to appease it. But now it wanted her, and it would stop at nothing to claim her. In her room, she found her grandmother's diary. One passage chilled her to the core. "It knows you. It listens. If you descend, it will not let you ascend. Leave while you can. Don't answer its call." But Claire could no longer resist. She knew the hum was a summons she could not ignore, and tomorrow, she would answer it.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to smash that like button or go to our YouTube channel to hear the complete story at Storytellers Drive-Thru.